Hey guys, CJ here, and of course I'm bringing you an all-new bio today because it's Monday, and that means it's Bio Day. And today we've got a little bit of a special treat for you in honor of the all-new Marvel Universe that's kicking off this month. Actually started a couple weeks back now. But in honor of that, we're going to bring you a bio about a little bit of a lesser-known character. I mean, she's known in comic book circles, but she's probably not known to, you know, the more kind of mainstream. She's a little bit niche, but she's going to play a really, really big role in the Marvel Universe, in the foreseeable future. Of course, I'm talking about X-23. And why is X-23 really important? Well, currently she took up the Mantle of Wolverine following the death of Logan earlier this year. Minor spoiler alert, but it came out really a long time ago, so y'all should have known about that by now. But X-23's got a really interesting origin. It's kind of short, but it's just really messed up. The amount of messed up shit that happens to X-23 in her relatively short history is astounding, and you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, X-23 actually she's a clone, spoiler alert, and I'll get into that real quick. When a top-secret organization attempted to replicate the Weapon X experiments, they failed, as no subject could survive the process. The typical ways they created Wolverine were not working, because Wolverine had the healing factor, and that's why he didn't die. Everyone else was just dying left and right. And so this pushed this top-secret organization to try cloning, although they only had damaged genetic material from Wolverine. And so, led by Sarah Kinney, they actually failed to make a Wolverine clone 22 times because they were trying to make a male clone. And so their experiments succeeded when they tried switching to make a female clone. And this clone was successful, and Dr. Kinney acted as her surrogate mother. The clone was named X-23, and she was then raised to become the perfect killer with her X gene forcefully activated. And that is not the only thing that X-23 had forcefully activated, as I'll mention when we get to her abilities section. And, so with her X gene activated, she got harsher training, and eventually she was used as an assassin. She was sent to kill targets for the highest bidder because she could be induced into this rage with a special scent. I don't know if it was a pheromone or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it was this smell that would drive her into Wolverine's berserker rage, and so that's kind of what they did. They were just, get her as close to a target as possible, and boom, flip the switch, and she's gonna go kill them. So when Dr. Kinney was fired, X-23 was told to destroy the facility they were in. However, before she could do this, her trigger was activated via that special scent that I mentioned, and this caused her to go into a murderous rage, which led to her mother's death. And it was then that she was named Laura Kinney, I guess in honor of her mother, and she actually briefly lived with her mother's family before searching for Wolverine. During this time, during her search, I guess you could say, she was captured by S.H.I.E.L.D., although she was actually let go really quickly after brief interrogations by Daredevil and Captain America. Daredevil truly believed she was innocent despite the fact that she had murdered so many people, and Captain America, though he really wanted her to pay for her crimes, I guess you could say, in traditional Captain America fashion, he decided to let her go free because he knew that S.H.I.E.L.D. would try to use her for the exact same reasons that this secret organization did. He was really worried that S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to try and use her as an assassin, a hitman. And so eventually she actually was left to live in the streets and work, Josh has written here, low-level jobs. She was a prostitute for a little bit before she eventually fell in with the X-Men, and she very quickly developed a strong bond with Logan. Of course, Logan is Wolverine, seeing him as a mentor and essentially her father, because she was cloned from that same genetic material. And they both actually had a really strong, father-daughter kind of bond. I mean, it's, of course, not actually father-daughter, but it kind of is a variation on that. And Laura, of course, worked with the X-Men, but she joined other teams such as X-Force, and when she was sent on various missions, and she became a key team member on all these various X teams. And when Logan died earlier in the year, she of course took it hard. I mean, like I said, that was basically her father. However, after some time, she accepted it and decided to move past it, deciding to take over the Mantle of Wolverine in his honor. And so now, that kind of brings us up to the modern day. X-23 is now the Wolverine, at least for the time being. I know a lot of people are thinking that they're going to bring Logan back before too long. Of course, he's kicking around his old man Logan somewhere in this new universe. Not quite sure how that worked out yet. But I'm honestly really hoping that X-23 sticks around. Of all the changes they've made, I think this one makes the most sense. It's really kind of a natural progression. And so, on to her abilities. X-23 has a lot of the same abilities as Wolverine, but because she's younger, they haven't really developed fully. So, of course, she's got things like superhuman senses, which, of course, Wolverine has, and that makes her an expert tracker. I mean, she has an enhanced sense of smell, hearing, sight, all that. And she, of course, has adamantium claws. And I mentioned other things that were forced other than her X gene. Well, her mother actually forcefully extracted her claws and coated them in adamantium when she was 7 years old or something like that. So when I say she had a very messed up childhood, I mean like the most messed up childhood in comics, maybe. But she's also an expert combatant after years of training, and she, of course, also has special ops training. So, of course, that about wraps it up. As I mentioned, short and sweet for X-23, a pretty new character, just 11 years old. The character is not 11 years old. I guess she was first started in 2004. So that actually about wraps it up for me here. Don't forget to leave your comments below, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. So please let me know what other bios you'd like to see in the future in the comments below. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.